Hey, whack people. This is the OCT, Octavius Haye, and I want to thank you for tuning in to our page today. We greatly appreciate it. If you are listening to the podcast, you can also find it on Podbean. The link will be in the description. And if you listen to our music, you can also listen on SoundCloud and DatPiff. Both links will be in the description also. And as always, please remember to like the video, leave a comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so you're informed every time we drop new content. Now enjoy this whack wisdom. I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me,
yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack
It's
to me.
the WACCast podcast, yeah.
We talk whack right now. We talk whack right now. We talk whack right now. We talk whack right now.
Whoa! What is up, whack people? Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I hope everything is amazing for you all as always. I am the Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, alongside my co-host, the expressive E-Rob.
Yeah.
And you are listening to the WACCast podcast. E, how you doing, man?
Just doing it good.
Yeah, you hope you are doing it good. We ready to do it good today on this podcast. Talk whack to him?
Let's talk whack to him.
Let's talk whack to him.
Yeah.
Well, before we go ahead and get started with the show, of course we got to throw a RIP to Michael K. Williams. You know, legend in the game. He of course, everybody know him from The Wire. He had, a memorable part in Boardwalk Empire, if you watch that show. Just been in a bunch of little, parts here and there, but just always a constant in the culture. And, always fighting, he was an activist, so fighting to build up his community. And it's real sad loss. He had that touching tribute to DMX. Was that last year or earlier this year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. That was real hard. It was a highlight of the show, of that award show, the BET Awards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So yeah, just again, RIP to him, his family. Best wishes, prayers, and all that to them. I know it's a difficult time, and we just want to put add to that outpouring of love that we're seeing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rest in power, man. Rise in power. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Rise in power, man. Rise in power, rise in paradise, and all that good stuff. Yes. So, that being said, let's get to the show now. And of course, the big hot news. Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy, man.
Drake.
Of course, he dropped that album. He announced he was going to drop it on the 3rd of September. Of course, this is after Kanye's album had already come out, about a week after. He dropped it, and we're here to give our thoughts on the album and also talk about some things that have come after the album. Because it seems like now you can't just drop music no more. It's got to be drama to come with the music dropping.
Yeah.
So before we get to all that drama though, E, what did you think about the album? You listened to it a little bit.
I felt that this was a solid Drake album. With that being said, me not being the biggest Drake fan, I feel like there are some people who just probably loved it, and it's the best shit that's out for them. So there were some songs that I felt were kind of long when singing, and like sort of the Drake that I wouldn't hear, that I might like tune me down a little bit, but I feel like he had something for everybody. Stuff that people wouldn't like, stuff that would appeal. He knows how to make an album for a wide range of audience.
Alright, so let me go ahead and say this. Because I'm just looking at E for a second. You was such a hater, man. Nah, Rick. You got a problem with him singing?
But no, it's just the rapping sometimes when he's just like, he had bars too, let me not even go all the way in that, but then when we give him like he's the best rapper and he's up there, but then he stole bars and stuff like that doesn't always come back. I'm like, dude.
He stole bars? What bars did he steal?
Man, there's a huge list, man. Anyway, back to this album, man.
Okay, anyway, so let's get back to this. So, I love the album. I think it was Drake's best work, but I really enjoyed it. Had fun with a lot of the songs. I like singing Drake. I like that vibe. I like that, reflecting on stuff. He gave me the Drake that I love the most, which is just reflecting on life, Drake, just reflecting on events, just playing things back. That type, like, Drake rap like how niggas be driving in their car thinking about stuff.
Yeah, it's like
dirty, man. That was foul that happened. I can't believe that girl did that to me.
Certain rappers,
when I see them dudes,
who like heavy on the weed lyrics, like it's like, dude, am I smoking? I was looking into Drake and all this thing. It's like, man, it feels like I've been drinking or something. But that's Drake. I think that's the Draking. You know what I mean? The Drake effect now. But yeah, it was a lot of that.
He's a storyteller, man. He gives you. It's like his diary that we reading.
Yeah.
With some slick talking in it, and some good bars, good metaphors. Jay. I feel like it seemed like Jay-Z, Lil Baby, and who else that was on this album that was on Kanye album?
That was only two.
Jay-Z, Lil Baby. I thought it was one more person, but yeah. I think we was both talking about like, I mean, it's only so many rappers, only like 10 big rappers, so y'all bound to be on each other's project.
All right.
But yeah, hold on, before you say that, some standouts for me, Girls Want Girls, the TSU song, Way Too Sexy, what's the other song he had that I really liked? I was like, In Too Deep, In Too Deep, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I like that song, man. So a lot on there for me to get into. And then, of course, just his rappy rap songs, which I got to go back and bump them some more. I've been playing a little bit of the boppy ones, but I want the Drake reflecting life too. So, yeah, overall, I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I feel like Kanye's album was like for on Sunday, and then Drake's stuff was like for that Friday night going out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that Friday night going out, it's about to be live, man. We are really about to do something. You about to play. You going out for a minute, you about to play some stuff to get you in that mood, man, get you in that mindset. It's
both the albums were definitely long enough, you know what I mean? They both carried on for more songs.
Yeah, I think it kind of had the same effect as that Kanye's album had for me, where at one point I'm like, all right, bro, I think it should be done now. I think you should have cut some of this fat off of this. But I always felt that about Drake. I always feel like I'd be going through his album, like, I would have cut this song, and then maybe it would have been a classic. But it'd be a little bit too much sometimes, Let me, cut some of that fat. It's okay. But yeah, though, man. So, of course, we listen to albums. People listen to albums. They just want to enjoy the music, or just be like, it ain't for me. Going to the next one if you E-Rob. But like we were saying, today's age, it's not possible anymore. So, after he dropped his album, Drake wanted to continue the Kanye beef. He dropped the diss track, I guess, that Kanye had for him, featuring Andre 3000.
How does he even get that, I wonder,
Drake know people, man. He know people.
Now it's like he could have played it to not have the beef at all, but now it's like you're there, the beef's here now, It's for everybody to see, I should say. It's on the surface, It's there. We know it's there, but now it's surfaced, you know what I'm saying?
Now we heard it.
Right.
So, do you think that Kanye's gonna come out with something new since he
I feel like it's Drake's turn, right? Even though he leaked it, like, or should Kanye leak Drake's? Do you got something on Drake that he had on you, or are we just gonna go with these subliminals that were put onto the Loverboy album?
But I mean, he went at. I feel like he went at Kanye pretty good in this song, where he telling him, why don't you take the address and give it to your driver instead of, like, why don't you come see me then, you know where I live. If you're gonna be like that, that's what he was saying. So I feel like, he touched on the events enough to where who he talking about. It's not no subliminal. He's like, he's talking about events that happened that guy did, so who he is.
But whose turn is it? You know what I mean?
Whose turn is it? I don't know. Maybe that's why I feel like it's Kanye, because he dropped this song and then he put that out. So it's like kind of Drake saying like, this just don't mean nothing to me. I don't care about this little disc. Let me put it out for you.
And I gotta just
So how
say,
fake you
the
are.
story in the story is also Andre 3000. Like, that was a good ass verse that just didn't get on. He ain't complaining though. You don't see Andre like, Kanye ain't put my verse on there, but it still got out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's because everybody was, the people that was complaining was he didn't just not put the song. He still put the song on there. He just took their verses off.
Yeah.
Andre he just didn't put the song on there.
That's
So if
true,
he put the
that's
song on
true.
there, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a good Andre. Of course, always have good verses.
Right.
That ain't news, but
And
nah,
it
was good.
brings up the debate on consistency. Is he only good because he only comes out every couple of years, and then when it is like, man, we ain't heard him in so long every time.
Yeah, I think so. I think that if he did this all the time, was putting out albums and stuff, we would notice like the quality go down a little bit. 'Cause
We'd
you
have
gotta-
more to talk about, more to analyze for good or for bad, you know.
Right. So yeah, you don't have to like keep churning these out. You know, come and do like one song every once in a while. He's been thinking about bars the whole time. Just because he ain't writing nothing daily or recording music, he thinking about dope lines. Ooh, that's a dope line. I'm gonna use that for something. I do that all the time. Ooh, that's a dope line. I'm gonna use that for something.
I haven't really heard him sound off about any of this either, you know.
He gave a statement. I didn't look at it. He gave a statement. So then after Drake did that, then Consequence comes out with his own diss track called, what was it, Party Time? Did you hear that?
I did not hear this one,
I
bro.
didn't hear it either, but
Oh.
Academics was like, it was weak. And nobody would hear from you dissing Drake. They would hear Kanye diss Drake. You should stay out of it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where Consequence even comes in at. Where?
I mean, I'm from the old school, man. You know, where if you diss one person, the whole camp dissing you.
Mhm.
You know, Rockefeller and all them, they used to diss 50 Cent, G-Unit. Everybody was dissing everybody. If you have beef with one of them, you have beef with all of them. So I ain't got no problem with Consequence doing that. That's just hip
Let's
hop.
see. I gotta hear it before
I gotta hear it
before I
too.
comment anymore. Like,
I got here too, man. The one thing that's one of the songs that people did not want to hear on this album though was the song that R. Kelly has a songwriting credit for. So with that TSU song, R. Kelly is credited. I guess I don't know if he sampled him or he used some or whatever, but he has a songwriting credit. Well, I guess he's had to sample him. Everybody was outraged. How could you use R. Kelly music? How could you do this? And my take on it is, R. Kelly's in music forever, no matter what. He's got great stuff. You can condemn what he says and just use his stuff to enhance, you know, your music.
mhm.
You know, it's all these He's got one director who had sex with his stepdaughter or whatever, and he fled the country. People still watch his movies. People gonna still watch the movies that was produced under what's her name, Weinstein Company. So it's like you can't you can't play these games, bro. It's out there. It's for us to use. We don't gotta like him no more if you don't like him.
I guess that's just how the cancel hits. Like, and you don't want them, get rid of them completely. Anytime you see them, I guess it triggers something.
No, that's crazy, man. I just don't agree with that. I think when you got somebody who has that much that legendary career with that much great music and is there to be used, I mean, you don't have to fool with him. You don't gotta make no more music with him, but it's already made there. If you have an idea as an artist, as a creative, you should be able to use that.
I just think at some point you're just letting it affect your listening experience. Did it really take away from the song? Were you really thinking about that when you heard it, or after did you just see the name and now
Right.
you hate the song
Right, that's
all
what
of
it
a
was.
sudden, you know?
That's what it was. And hey man, I hope more artists use R. Kelly song because he got good music that you can sample and you know mix up and remaster that and do stuff with. You know, this is hip hop. This is what we do. We take songs and we update them a little bit, give our spin on it, and I don't got no problem with that. So I love the song. Album was great. Another person that agrees with me on the album is your boy Academics.
No.
Did you listen to the rant?
More of the Kendrick stuff.
But just saying like this is the best dude in the world. His favorite rapper. He said you ain't smoking on who top 5.
Well,
My
he's,
top 5.
He's who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I guess the Drake head. That's what I mean.
Definitely, he's a super Drake head. He out Drake heads me. I was like,
So
whoa.
if I'm feeling like this album is good, this means that, you know, he's gonna let me know how much it's over the top that is. You know what I mean? So
Yo, Ack was feeling. Now he
it did it for him, but it was how he fall asleep though.
He had been listening for a minute. He had been drinking the whole time.
Oh.
I think Drake was gonna release it earlier, but then he ended up releasing it later. But Ack had already got started. He got it started early on his Twitch. You know, in the build up to it coming out, he was talking to people, drinking a little bit, thinking it was coming out at 12. Then they was like it's gonna be a little bit later, so he went a little bit later, but he He had a couple in him. He listened to it and then he passed out.
You don't even take that to feel it, bro. You don't have to be drinking to feel that, man. Listen to that shit.
Oh, it made you sleepy? You a sleepy person?
No, not sleepy, but let's just say, like if I'm intoxicated, something like, bro, what's going on? You just saying, but that's what the Drake does. That's what his singing does.
You a sleepy dude anyway. Yeah, I know you a sleepy dude. Don't try to play Drake. You always sleeping. Yeah, man. But yeah, Ack definitely is kind of becoming more and more known for these drunk rants, which I love, man. I keep them coming. I had a good time watching it. I watched the whole. That was like I think I sent you a 10-minute clip. It was actually like it was a 40-minute clip that I went back and watched the whole thing where he talked even more about it.
Also, before we get off this album, I will say Drake knew how to use like a cover that was going to be impactful just on, I guess, social media, just on the image, The
pregnant stuff?
Yeah. It was a fun one, and it immediately got memed up, like even when the artwork got released. People started putting their own spin on it and making their own shit to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Drake's always been good with that marketing. Remember he had the views thing, him sitting on the whatever the thing is in Toronto, and everybody started using that.
And the one with the clouds. I guess his kid facing the cloud and shit.
So he's good with that type of stuff. And you're right. A lot of people started memeing up. One of the people who I don't know if he did this before or after, but also had pregnancy. He also used pregnancy, I should say, to promote his album. Was Lil Nas X. However, he was showing himself to be pregnant with the belly bump. The baby bump. Belly that he had, showing that he was expecting, and he's expecting his debut album, which is dropping soon. Did you see it, E? Did you see Belly?
I saw that picture.
See the baby belly?
Yeah.
What'd you think, E?
Trolling. This nigga trolling. But, that's what that is. Like, hey. And a lot of people do feel like my music is my baby and shit like that, but you just take that and you extend the metaphor and weird it up, and this is what you get,
So I take it you ain't giving nothing for the baby shower.
It's just publicity, promotion for the album,
Yeah, it is, and there are definitely people, of course, which is what he was expecting, that hate it, and people are saying stuff like, "How could you do that for the children? Young men are gonna be confused." Yada 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 yada. Do you think they have a point?
Yeah, but do I think he gets it? Like, however, he's just young and just Well,
I'm not gonna front. I'm gonna just say I didn't like that. I thought it was stupid. I don't like things like that. Call me old fashioned. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care what you do, but that type of stuff is just dumb to me. It's weird to me. I don't like that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it got attention. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but the backlash now, like these lines are starting to get drawn.
I think Boosie has kind of made it okay to push back on that a little bit.
Yeah. Because
Boosie's been pushing back on it. Like, did you watch his interview on the Breakfast Club?
I did.
Where they were like trying to force him to like give in, and he just would not. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't agree with that, and I don't. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Got to be able to stand 10 toes, and he was just saying, wow, heterosexual men are like losing their voice on some of these things for standing on their beliefs.
Yeah, no, definitely. And another thing that he was talking about was just like, he don't like that all this stuff is being able to be exposed to children, and it's okay because they're homosexual, so they feel like you can't say anything. Now, on Lil Nas X's part, he said that people use children as an excuse to be homophobic. So if he's saying like, you're using your children as an excuse because you don't want to admit that you just don't like me for being gay. Now, what you think about that?
Well, I feel like that's the right to parent. As a parent, you should be able to feel that way and say, I don't want my child to be exposed to that.
But he's saying, not Lil Nas X is saying, you don't care. It's not about the children. That's your excuse. You really just don't like.
What's a scapegoat? Ain't the goat the kid? That's my cut back on this.
But do you think that people do you think that people don't care? Like, if it was a woman doing all this, do you think people would care?
Okay, then you're also using the other keyword, the phobia. I'm not afraid like that. I don't have that phobia. You feel me? I always try to put the fear on it.
All right, I feel you on that, yeah. But do you think that if it was a woman that people would be as mad? Do you think they would be like, I didn't like that woman kissing somebody on stage. My kids was watching. Do you think somebody would say that?
Yeah, this is that find it.
Do you think somebody would say something if a straight man that kissed a
I
straight
mean, didn't
woman?
it happen? I think Britney Spears and what, Madonna? Somebody had a kiss on the award show like this.
Something about that, yeah. People saying stuff that was a big deal.
It's less because it's more accepted when women do it, you know.
But no, I think it was people making the same arguments back then that kids were watching that. I had a teacher at the time that said that. I had a teacher. My teacher at that time was talking about, well, yeah, they said they took their kids away before they did it, but what about everybody else's kids they were watching?
Yeah, well, the younger every year, and then I think that goes with parenting as well. So this is a new, I feel like, wave of parenting that's not going to allow that. It's really going to make some changes, so this doesn't have to be seen, you know.
But I still, at the end of the day, you got to look at what not Lil Nas X is saying was like, the parents aren't really caring about the kids. The kids are just they're just saying like, oh, you're my kid, but really it's just like, no, I just don't want gay stuff. So they don't care if it's straight people doing it. They care if it's gay people doing it.
I think this is also just rooted in the people not being what he thought they was, like a country rap star at first, and getting all the acceptance, and then
I think people kind of knew that was cap, though. I think people kind of saw that for what it was. Like, it was just a moment.
You feel like it'd be different if he didn't like do Old Town Road at first and go through all that?
No,
to get to this point.
No, I think it'd be the same thing because he's heavy into the black culture. So I think that it's just that black people are a little bit less accepting of homosexual.
Well, with a name like Nas and X, you know what I mean? Pretty powerful names in the black culture. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But as far as their children they're just using their children and they don't really care about their kids being exposed to it, I'll say, well, maybe there are some people like that, but I also say there's nothing wrong with not wanting to see that at the same time. Yeah. So even if you are just using your child because you scared to just admit you just don't want to see that, you might be doing that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to see two men kiss or not wanting to see men grinding on each other. I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to see that. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in of itself. But do you think it's a bad thing if you just don't want to see it?
Yeah, it's like this PDA and this. Nah.
I don't know, man. I think we just had a turning point where the generational shift is happening and it's becoming a drastic thing, and we see that, which brings us to our next topic, was that China banning feminine males from TV. And how we're seeing like the older guard trying to pretty much stop what they see as men who aren't being masculine enough and who are being who are being influenced by these celebrities who may dress a little bit more feminine. And in China, they're really trying to crack down on that.
I'm with it.
President, what's it?
Z.
Yeah. He banned that, so any image of feminine men on television is banned outright. But China's been doing a lot of things, like they're limit access to video games. You're going to do 3 hours video games per week and not on school days, and so they're really trying to get, I guess, kids out and active and learning and being manly. So what you feel about that?
I feel like it's being lost, and I think they're seeing that. And they're trying to just cultivate it, move it in a way that let's get it back. At least more on, you know.
So you think what China's doing is right?
I can't say that it's wrong, you know. A lot of this culture seeping in, and that's not us. They had to look in the mirror and say, that's not what we're about. A little bit. That's what I feel like happened.
Okay. So I actually see, I gotta disagree with you on that, man. You can't tell somebody what they can and can't watch, how they can and can't dress, if they can and can't play video games, however long they want to play them.
I knew this was going to get into a freedom debate. Not even trying what a freedom, you know?
It's their freedom. Nothing is worth your freedom. When people start saying, oh, this is for the greater good, that's scary talk to me, because then if you can justify doing this, what else can you justify for the quote-unquote greater good? Of course.
We're in this dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
There, though.
That's China is a democracy, but yeah, pretty much dictatorship, pretty much controlled. but it's not right.
Yeah, well, you got.
It's
I
communist.
understand. I still understand our Western views and our Western philosophies, but let's there, and I gotta put it in their perspective because that's who's doing it. I don't see it as so wrong, you know.
I don't know how I can't put it in nobody's perspective. I can only put it in what's right and what's wrong. And because you in another part of the globe, I can't all of a sudden be like, well, okay, well, you're in China, so that's fine. No, that's wrong.
I
bro.
also have to just look at the attack. I feel like masculinity's been under attack, and it's been, I guess, getting undervalued in society. So this is just the first thing on a global scale. I feel like that's like we're gonna take steps to see that this doesn't happen, or to amend some of this.
I don't think that I don't think that ends justify the means in this situation, man. I just don't feel like you should be allowed to tell people, oh, this type of person, they can't dress like this and be on your television. You can't do this. And we seeing like this control over these people, and and they're saying, oh, well, it's all good because we're trying to, bring masculine men back. And of course, I do feel like there's a problem of people taking that masculinity away and coining the phrase toxic masculinity as just the point saying you can't be a man. But I also recognize the dangers, and we can't be so lost in trying to fight against that we don't open eyes and look when people are abusing their power in the name of saving masculinity.
Well, I don't see it as power abuse, It's
You don't
just
see it as power abuse?
Because also the thing was they're saying there's unhealthy attention to the celebrities, right? I think this all goes into that too. Maybe that's not how males should be looking.
That's fine, but that's an opinion. When you force your opinion on somebody else and you have to do this, that's a problem, bro.
Well, it's not
I
just
don't
one
care what
person.
country
This
you
has
live
to
in.
be a collective mind coming together and making these decisions. I don't believe it's one person just
I
said
don't care
that,
if it's majority. You can't make everybody based off an opinion decide, okay, no more. People can watch. If people want to be less masculine, they have that right to be less masculine.
Okay, well we're saying on TV with the entertainment, so
That's what I'm
things
saying.
everybody can see. So this isn't just out in the public,
That is in the public. That's television. That's public. That's public for everybody. Public consumption. That's for everybody to see. You can't just say, "Oh well, I want more masculine stuff," so you can't have these less masculine looking people. No, just make some shows with some more
Okay, let me
masculine
ask
people.
why you feel like they did it then.
I know why they did it, but that said that's not right. That doesn't excuse it. That's my point. I know why they did it because they
Well,
said kids aren't asking back.
All right, I feel you for
not
standing.
an
I feel
excuse.
you for standing on your freedom, bro. Because that's what this is about a lot of time. Or a lot of what makes this West, what makes the West the West. You know what I'm saying? We can do what we want in a sense.
Yeah, we need to condemn people. No, like most things are for a reason. Why did slavery happen? It was free labor. That doesn't mean just because you have an excuse to why it happened doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah. One man's right's probably another man's left.
Look, all I know is if you tell somebody they can't do something, even if it's something I do agree with, and I do agree that we're losing touch with our masculinity. I don't believe in dictatorship at all, and I don't believe that you have the right to tell somebody what they can and can't watch as long as it's not anything illegal or violating anybody else's rights.
All stuff aside, man, right is right, and yeah, it's a tough topic.
Tough topic, man. Another tough topic.
Yeah, man.
Another tough topic is R. Kelly's trial. So he is on trial right now. I guess he's on trial for hurting women and like all type of crazy stuff, and been a lot of victim testimony, man. They've been talking about they had to put doo-doo in their mouth and record themselves. He would beat them. They were forced to call him daddy. They had to wear baggy clothes when they weren't around him. They couldn't look at other men. Some sick stuff happening. Does this change your opinion on R. Kelly now, hearing all these testimonies from these women?
I feel like we're at where we're at. I knew there was video back then. I always have to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? The music's the music for me still. All right, he's still a soul star. Nobody really can do what he did. I guess he has some stuff that's timeless to me. Now back to the right is right talk. I don't believe some of this is right. So like, all the stuff he's getting alleged for. Maybe it's time. I guess it's just coming to the surface.
Yeah, man. I mean, some crazy stories. Women talking about one woman talking about he gave her herpes, and supposed to have known like back in 2006, 2007 that he had herpes or had a venereal disease, so he could get extra charges for that. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy stuff. Like him making them write false. He made them write false or fake letters saying how the family abused him and stuff. I mean, what they're saying is true. R. Kelly's really sick. He's really, really sick. And I know a lot of this stuff has been talked about. They had a documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. I didn't really watch all of it, so I don't know some of these stories. Some of these I did not know the poop story. That's really gross.
Yeah.
One of the things that stuck out to me is that we found out, that they had, not we found out, but they had the pastor who oversaw the wedding for him and Aaliyah on stand, and they had forged her, her signature or marriage license, whatever it was, fake ID saying she was 18, swore him to secrecy. They were going to pay him. He said no. So that was crazy hearing about that story. We also found out he married her because he thought that she was pregnant, and so he married her so she couldn't testify against him in court. What do you think about the Aaliyah thing, man, as far as that goes?
Well, it seems like I said, she was going at a lot of older guys. Maybe she was innocent, man, but man.
So it's all her fault. It's all Aaliyah's fault.
Man, I think she knew some of it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if R. Kelly was doing all this to a whole bunch of other girls, you know what I'm saying? That's a different thing.
Yo, right. Aaliyah was a little B kid. I can't put that on her. They got out of it really fast. I put it more on her parents because her parents and her uncle had him around her. And, they all got a good deal out of her being with R. Kelly. And I think they got rights to some of his publishing or the publishing he did for her or something like that. So, they came out on top with this. So I don't know if it's a little bit of you can mess with her for, I'm not going to even say that, but yeah, you got to look at the parents, where were you at when all this was going on? I was a little kid. How does he have time to do all this stuff with your little daughter? And your niece. That's weird. Another weird one was the man talking about how R. Kelly dropped down and gave him oral and then stopped when he was soft. He wasn't, and was telling him don't tell nobody. And dude was like, he wasn't even gay. I'm like, well, why did you stay? But he said he kept sticking around, kept hanging out. I'm like, what is you doing?
Man, all these
punched him in his head when he
all these allegations, man.
I'm saying though, if dude just dropped down in front, you start trying to unzip your pants.
Hey, right? You think What
at
did R.
least back up
Kelly?
what you doing.
Was he starstruck? Was he? I don't know, bro.
Oh my God, R. Kelly sucking. That's a hell of a story. That nigga's working at McDonald's. Go back the next day. Hey,
yo, I got one.
I got right.
I ain't gonna believe what happened.
Next time around, I ain't having But nah, though. Yeah, that was what threw me off. But that was like, all right, you know what? Even if you didn't do nothing, you kept coming around. No, that's weird. And then he said, one time he was at a party, he got super drunk, he woke up, and R. Kelly was sleeping right next to him. I don't know if he had his pants off or R. Kelly had their pants off, but he was like, he didn't know if R. Kelly had done something to him. I'm like, that's weird, bro. Like, why would you keep putting yourself around that situation?
Yeah, I guess it's just the Me Too men version. Like, you didn't care until way after. I feel like this would have been hard to just say this happened, not in this era. Like.
Yeah, I think it was really weird for this dude to just do that. But and then they were talking about how R. Kelly, he believes he's a genius, and as a genius he has a right to mess with underage girls. Like, there should be no restrictions on him. He should be free because he's so smart. And which I think that stuff is crazy. Trial's still going on though. None of this stuff has been proven. Allegedly. He's not been convicted. So I want to wait a little bit longer, but so much was going on. I feel like we at least touch on some of it. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, I like R. Kelly music. I still rock with his music. I know he's a terrible person. I do think that he's a little creep. I don't know if all the stories are true. I don't know if any of this is true. I do think there's some validity at this point. You gotta admit there's something to it.
Yeah.
In some degree, whether it's not as bad or something's going on. But yeah, I do believe you can separate it in some instances, and I still listen to some sometimes, so cancel me, I guess. But that's what it is. And of course, of all the people, all the women and the men who are accusing R. Kelly, If these accusations are true, hey, I support you guys. I hope that you guys are able to heal from this. That's all I really got to say about that. At this time, we'll have more, as the trial goes on. You got anything, E?
Good music is good music, and then I guess sometimes there's this dark side behind the music that,
Yeah, and for all these stories we hear, how many have we not heard, How many have we not heard from people who had to go through stuff? So, like I said, I'm waiting to see how it turns out. If all this is true, then R. Kelly gets the time he deserves, and that's that is that. That's what it is. But yeah, though, E, you got anything else to say before we go?
I think not.
All right, then. Well, if that's our show, then I want to thank you guys for tuning in, taking in our whack wisdom, and we hope that you return next week to get a little bit more from us. We got some more whackness coming to you. And if that is all, this is the WACCast podcast, and we are whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack
It's
to
the
me.
WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.